Held captive as a one sec. Held captive as a pet from age 9 to 19. Fusako Sano in full detail. I didn't butcher the first name, so I'm going to assume I didn't butcher this name. Let me say it again. Fusako Sano in full detail. Technically, I haven't butchered the name, so let's go. This might be the last one. Well, I'll see.
A 9-year-old 4th grade girl in elementary school went missing after watching a baseball game in her hometown, Sanjo, in the Niigata prefecture in Japan. Despite a massive search party, the police were unable to find the girl, or even any clues related to her disappearance. It got to the point where they even began to expect that she was one of a growing number of girls kidnapped by North Korean operatives. The truth was, after heading home that day, she was ambushed by a strange man who grabbed her and threw her into the trunk of his car. She was then held in the upstairs apartment at the man's mother's home for over 9 years straight, never stepping foot outside, despite the house being only a short walk from the nearest police station.
Mental. Being held captive for that long.
After watching my videos, I'm sure you've come to see that safety is extremely important. Maybe you're even feeling a bit paranoid. Well, I can offer you some security, or internet security, thanks to the sponsor of this video, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is a service that can encrypt your data online so that you aren't able to be tracked by anyone, criminal or otherwise. It does so by swapping your location with different servers around the world, hiding your real location. Not only does Surfshark keep your data secure by hiding your location, but you can use hiding your location to your advantage as well. By changing your location, you can bypass censorship no matter where you are. Surfshark frees your internet browsing by unblocking blocked websites and even bypassing geo-restrictions, namely websites your country might have blocked. A VPN encrypts your online data and helps to secure your personal information when you use free public Wi-Fi too. If you go out with your laptop a lot like I do, using public Wi-Fi can be a goldmine for all the hackers out there. Think about all the personal information you put online on a daily basis. Using Surfshark will take care of that problem and secure your data so that you can keep your personal data, like your passwords and credit cards, safe. You can even use the app to better monitor your personal data and check for potential breaches of security. You'll even get alerts in real time to help you protect your identity. Now you've even got Surfshark's Clean Web feature, which blocks ads, trackers, malware, and phishing attempts, making your trip through the internet just that much safer. So why not get started today? Right now, Surfshark is offering 83% off of your subscription and an extra 3 months for free with the special code DIRETRIP, all one word. They offer a 30-day money-back guarantee as well, so there's no reason not to give it a shot. So go ahead and check the description below to get your link and get started on Surfshark VPN. Let me start off by saying this case is very dark.
You just skipped up. I was on my phone
so
doing something quickly, innit? So
this is somewhat of a sequel to the Junko.
Let's get into it, man.
The cases were pretty often compared in the Japanese media, and I think you'll see why later on. Given that, I just want to give out a little warning, this one gets bad too. If you have a hard time stomaching this sort of thing, just feel free to click off to another video. But if you're prepared, let's get started. Fusako Sano had been kidnapped by a very mentally ill man named Nobuyuki Sato, then 28 years old and unemployed. Sato was born in 1962 to a father who was a chauffeur to a wealthy client at a big company in Tokyo during the post-war era. That father had 5 kids with another mother, but ended up outliving her and then married Sato's mother afterwards. His father was 62 while his mother was 36. He was taken to a mental health facility and diagnosed as having germophobia, among other things. His phobia got so intense that he would threaten to disown his father if he ever came home with the slightest amount of dirt on him. In high school, although being quite tall and somewhat intimidating, he was very soft-spoken, often being called an okama by the other kids.
Fuck is okama?
Which is a word that basically translates as a slur against gay or trans people. He withdrew into himself and took his anger home with him, often venting and taking his frustrations out on his family. Afterwards, he went to go.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, germaphobe and just okama. slurs against you because you're either gay or trans. Yeah. And he was a bit angry. Fair enough.
Work at an automobile parts factory, but his eccentricities often got him into trouble. There was a public urination case, for one, and another time he retreated back home on his way to work, his excuse being that he got caught in a spider web. So eventually he left that job.
This could be a hot take, innit? Hot take. Sometimes, yeah, I'm not saying I have. But I am saying is, though, sometimes, yeah, it's like the den of night, innit? You're on your way home, you maybe like 30 minutes or an hour away from home, but you really need to piss, innit? You really need to piss. You'll find a bush, or you'll go around a corner where like there's no one there, it's dark and all that, and then you'll take a piss. I can't lie, yeah. Sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go. Because why am I going to hold piss, which will actually damage my internal organs, because of a silly law that says I can't piss when I really actually need to piss? What if all the shops are closed? What if everywhere I go, the toilets are literally closed? What if that I'm so far from any shop, there is no toilets around? Anything could be a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be like 12 a.m. I left my house hours upon hours ago. I was with whoever, and then obviously I pissed then, and obviously now. It's been like an hour and a bit later, at the very most 2 hours, obviously. I've been traveling, obviously trying to get home now. I come off the station maybe about an hour ago. I didn't need to piss or anything. I was calm. Now as I'm going home, I'm an hour away from home, 30 minutes away from home, and I'm really desperate for a piss. I'm not saying I've done this, but what I am saying is, when you gotta go, my nigga, you gotta go. I can't lie in it. Like what? Like, me personally, yeah, then at night, 1 a.m., 12 a.m., whatever it is, no one's around. Shit. When you gotta go, man. I can't lie in it. If you're one of the dickheads that gets caught, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this just your unlucky day. I'm not saying I've done it. What I am saying is, I'd have been caught personally. I'm not saying I've done it. I'm just saying in it, I never get caught. Because I can't lie in it. There are some people, yeah, who will just like piss, like on the street because they need to go in it, and they will do it in front of so many people, or they'll just do it in a way where it's so obvious that you know what you're doing in it. And it's just like, bro, if the feds come at any point, you're fucked. This will go down as public urination, public indecency, public this and that. Bro, you're done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's peak now, innit? You know, I'm just, yeah. All I'm saying, when you gotta go, innit? Like, that's what I'm gonna say, innit?
And stopped working entirely. It's safe to say that by this point in his life, he was already pretty gone. At age 19, he got into an argument with his mother, claiming he was leaving home for good. He set fire to a Buddhist altar in the home, which spiraled out of control into a huge house fire. He was taken in for another mental examination, and it was determined that he had a severe case of OCD. After about a month of intense medication and supervision, he was released. After that point, he spent most of his time betting on horse races and obsessing over idols. Eventually, he told his mother that it was time he started becoming independent and expressed his interest in building an addition onto their house. She complied, and a new room was added to the second floor of the home, giving him somewhat of his own apartment up there. But the room was given up on mid-construction. Sato kept fussing over the construction crew bringing germs into the home, and he also failed to keep many of his promises, including looking for a job.
These germaphobes, bro.
It was at this point that Sato went from being a regular piece of shit to a criminal piece of shit.
A regular piece of shit.
In June of 1989, he ended up waiting outside of an elementary school gate and shadowing 4 young girls as they walked out of the school, all around 9 years old.
He was right. He is a piece of shit. Waiting outside of school, just shadowing young girls, underage girls. Yeah, you are a piece of shit. I can't lie. The guy's writing it. You are a piece of shit. That's crazy, bro. I can't lie.
He ended up tailing one until she came close to a vacant lot, when he then dragged her into said lot and attempted to have his way with her. However, another girl ended up witnessing him taking her off into the lot and ran off to tell some older students. An office worker from the school then showed up and captured Sato. The police were called and he was arrested on charges of an attempted indecent act. 2 months after this, his father would pass away, likely in complete shame over what his son had become. In that September, he was sentenced to a 1-year suspended sentence as a result. The court decided that his chances of reoffending were low, and in lieu of probation, decided to release him to his mother's custody, on the condition that she look after him and guide him. And as we know, this didn't work out. While still on his suspended sentence, Sato took his mother's car and went out for a drive on November 13th of 1990. He drove around for a couple of hours until he ended up spotting a young girl that piqued his interest, Fusako Sano, at around 5 p.m. It was unplanned, as far as we know. Upon seeing the little girl walking around by herself, he made the decision to kidnap her. He parked the car in front of her and got out, brandishing a knife, making his way closer to her. He told her, "Be good and don't say a word." Sano was too scared to move, so Sato was able to pick her up and throw her into the trunk of the car easily. He drove for a while until he stopped on the side of the road, where he got out and ran to the back of the car. He opened the trunk and bound Sano's hands with tape and covered her eyes as well. He once again closed the trunk and set off towards his house, arriving home at around 6:30 p.m. So that his mom wouldn't spot him hauling a 9-year-old into the house, he decided to enter the home through an entrance to the unfinished addition to the house. Then he went back around to the front door by himself and entered the home as normal, as if nothing was out of the ordinary. He went up to Sano, locked up in the old nursery, and removed her blindfold. He told her, "You don't want to end up killed like all those other kidnapped girls, do you? You're never going to leave this room. You're going to live in here forever. If you break this promise, I won't need you anymore. I'll bury you in the mountains or send you floating away in the ocean," he added. From here on, her confinement would continue for years and years and years. When Sano didn't come home that night, her mother went to a police substation and begged them to search for her. A search party formed of police officers and volunteers from the school, getting as large as 200 people, and they set out to search for any clues as to her whereabouts. They searched everywhere, from vacant homes to shipping containers, even using helicopters to search for the girl. Over 20,000 missing posters were drafted up and passed around, but no clues were ever found. Sato continued to threaten Sano repeatedly during her confinement. He would often swing his knife around her, injuring her dozens of times in the process. In the beginning, he would bind her up so tightly that she couldn't move whenever he went to bed for the night. Her legs were bound tightly together for over a year straight.
Why is this?
To make it even more difficult for her to escape, Sato kept the layout of the home a secret to her. Whenever he would leave the room, he would either blindfold her or tie her up and throw her under a blanket on the bed. After about a year or two, Sato got more violent in his torture of Sano. He started using a stun gun to deal out his sick punishments, threatening to stab her if she let out her voice while being shocked. She often had to bite down on a blanket to refrain from screaming as she got stunned. He would also attempt pro wrestling moves on her as well, again punishing her if she let her voice slip. It's believed that he hit her lightly during the duration of her captivity over 700 times, and that he hit her with considerable strength around 300 times. She would get hit in the eyes so hard that she would lose her sight from time to time. Eventually, she started using the stun gun on herself, hoping to be able to get used to the sensation so that it wouldn't bother her anymore. She developed a dissociative disorder as—
Fucking hell. You know what that says? You know what that says, right? I'm not even joking when I say this, innit? Usually, right, in this type of thing, yeah, if you're like using the same equipment, right, on yourself, just so the pain Well, is it just so like you can get used to the pain, right? And doesn't hurt as much anymore? It means one of two things, right? And I want you to pay attention because I'm about to teach you something in it. One, it means that in your view, you've been in here for so long that you have lost all hope. And because you don't want to kill yourself, you rather just accept that I'm never getting out of here and hurt yourself in order for it to hurt less, and accept that this is your life now. You know what I mean? This is reality. This is what my life has come to. I'm never getting out of here. In order for this to work, and just so I don't like completely lose my mind, I'm just gonna hurt myself and hope that it doesn't hurt as much. Right? Or two, the second thing, as they say here, like dissociative disorder, you have disconnected with your own brain so much that you've essentially like on the point of losing your mind, right? Like you're disconnecting, like everything, your sense of reality is so butchered, not butchered, sorry, butchered, that you like you're convinced that this is the new normal, you know? Like this is my life now. So now I'm so disconnected with everything that I believe that this is my life. This is what I deserve. Therefore, I'm just going to like do whatever in it. And slowly, as you go on, as the years go by, you're losing so much of your sanity. As I said, this is now the new normal. You deem this as normal. This is reality for me now. This to me is absolutely correct. You know, it's bad, bro. It's so bad. Like, God forbid this happens to anyone I know, anyone watching, or just you know, God forbid it, you know, like that's tough. You know, I can't lie, that's tough, man.
It's a defense mechanism, meaning she began feeling that another person was the one being hit, not her, allowing her to kind of distance herself from the pain inside her mind. Sano was initially, obviously, terrified, but this fear soon waned as she began to give up and accept her fate. Sato would bring clothes to her for her to wear, usually his own, and initially fed her 3 times a day. It was either food that he brought by himself or food that was cooked by his mother, who was still living on the first floor. For some reason, Sato began fearing that Sano might be developing diabetes.
His mum was literally above him, and
likely caused
no speculations.
He decided that she was getting too much sugar and began limiting her meals to once a day. She went from weighing 46 kilograms to 38 kilograms and began feeling very faint most of the time, usually spending most of her time lying down. Eventually, her legs withered to the point of being unable to walk around on her own anymore. She needed to build strength in her legs, but Sato wouldn't allow this, as that might end up with her exposing herself to his mother. There was no toilet on the second floor of the home, and Sato, obsessing over cleanliness in an odd way, didn't use the toilet, instead using plastic bags, which he would then seal and put out into the hallway. He was embarrassed of this, so he forbid Sano to see the hallway, blindfolding her if it were ever necessary to go out there. One day, after being severely weakened, Sano fell out of bed, injuring her already weakened body. Nevertheless, she was forced to crawl down the stairs and into the shower herself while still blindfolded. The mother of Sato consulted the public health center in January 1996.
There seems like the thing is, yeah, like there's actual sickos in Japan, you know, like actual sickos in it. A lot of these stuff that happens in Japan happened like years upon years ago. A lot, which is good. At least it's not really like a continuation in it. Maybe it is happening. Who knows? I don't know in it. But like, what I've seen so far of like a lot of these like things that I've watched that do unfortunately have to do with Japan, right? At least it happened like years upon years ago. You know what I'm saying? But like, regardless though, there were a lot of sickos in Japan. Like, this is bad, bro. This is really bad. Like, poor girl, fam. Like, she's so weak to the point where, like any slight, like, just her falling off the bed would like seriously injure her. Maybe not seriously, but you know what I mean. Like if I fell off the bed, right? I'm not gonna. It will hurt for maybe 2 seconds until my body just says, "All right, cool, you're good now." For her, that could mean maybe a fracture, or a broken something, or a bruise somewhere, like, because obviously her body, so it's lacking the nutrition, the just everything that you need to survive, to make your body just work as normal and function as normal, bro. It's lacking that. So her body's working overtime just to stay alive, and not bothering about anything else, because like its focus is to, I need to keep this how do I keep this person alive? By working over, like, what do I have to do in it? So whilst your body's figuring out ways to keep you alive, it's got less attention on what's going on. And its main focus is, I need to keep this person alive, I need to keep this person alive, I need to keep this person alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's bad, bro. This is actually disgusting.
Because Sato had been acting strangely and had become very violent towards her. However, nothing was really done about it. Sato's mother, despite living downstairs, is reported to have had absolutely no contact with Sano whatsoever over the years. Sato would get very violent if she ever attempted to go upstairs, leading to her never even trying to go up there. Many people, however, including the police, speculate that she must have had some knowledge that another person.
I thought this. I wasn't really paying attention to this. I was paying attention, but not completely. But like, so they was all in the same house. They all lived. So the mother and the son lived in the same house. And the son would refuse her mother to go upstairs, and the mother, I guessing out of fear and to not argue, would just not go upstairs. And you're telling me in this entirety of 9 years, not 9 days, not 9 months. Even 9 months is ridiculous. But 9 years, you yourself didn't think there was another person upstairs that you didn't know about. For 9 years. 9 years. There's only 2 things, right? That makes sense here. 1, she honestly and truly had no fucking idea, which is so obscene that I can't even see that as a possibility, but it is. Or she knew the entire time and was scared, and that's why she didn't say nothing. That's the only thing that makes logical sense to me. There's no way you can go 9 years living in the same house as your son and not know that there is a missing girl in your own house for the last 9 years, just getting tortured repeatedly on a daily basis. Do you not notice that there's more food being used, or spare food being, like, what? Do you not notice? For 9 years, my nigga? Me, I don't believe that for a second, I can't lie. 9 days, sure. Maybe you might not notice anything. That's fair enough. A lot of people don't notice nothing for the next week, 2 weeks, whatever. Like, a lot of people don't notice nothing. You know what I'm saying? But 9 years? Come on, bro. I don't know about that.
Was up there. It's alleged that she bought feminine hygiene products for Sato, for example. Sato would cut Sano's hair by himself, often into short, choppy cuts. There was no bath on the second floor of the home, so Sano was only allowed to bathe once in a while, with permission and while being watched by her captor. She lived a very boring life while not being directly harmed by Sato. She spent the bulk of her time listening to the radio and reading newspapers. Later on in her captivity, she was allowed to watch TV from time to time. Sato would also talk to her about topics that interested him, providing the most mild of entertainment. The door to the apartment was never locked, but despite this, Sano never attempted to even take one step outside in all of those years. At first, it was because she was too scared, but eventually it was because she lost all the willpower and energy to even try. Throughout her confinement, Sano had very little exposure to the outside world outside of TV and radio. She never developed, mentally, past her 9-year-old state. It was later found that she had a very noticeably low intelligence level when compared to peers of her own age. Sato stated that he saw Sano as a friend.
That's fair. She was held in
throughout her
captivity for 9 years.
And claimed that he gave her everything she needed to develop normally. By this point in her captivity, she started obeying my orders very well. I thought that I'd like to live with her forever. We could talk on equal footing about horse races and cars. I genuinely did like her. It felt like she was a girl my own age. She was an irreplaceable partner to me, so I could never let her go, Sato said. Sato's mother was so afraid of his violent outbursts that she tried to work as much as possible. When she was forced to retire at 65, she began killing time outside the house as much as possible to avoid going home. By 1999, Sato began using the stun gun on his mother as well. Along with punching her and kicking her, he began tying her up as well, only releasing her to let her go to the bathroom, according to the mother.
This advert is disgusting. What is this?
The mother called to get mental help for her son on January 12th of 2000, and basically getting nothing out of it, she then tried calling again on January 19th, begging for an official to come visit the home. They finally complied, and some healthcare officials finally did visit the home that Friday on the 28th. Healthcare workers approached Sato and told him that he was going to be taken in for a mental health evaluation. This resulted in an enormous violent outburst that did nothing but further prove their point. Subsequently, the police were called to the scene. It was during the commotion that everyone noticed a lump under a blanket moving around in his room. When removing the blanket, they were shocked to reveal a sickly pale, short-haired girl underneath. They asked her who she was. She simply told them, "I need to get my thoughts in order." They called Sato's mother into the room and asked who the hell this girl was. She responded, "I don't know, I've never seen her before." They then informed the girl that Sato was likely going to be going away for a long time and asked what she wanted to do, likely thinking that she could have possibly been his girlfriend. Sano looked toward the mother and asked, "Is it okay if I stay here?" The officials urged her to call her own home. She responded, "My home might not be around anymore." The mother asked where her home was. Sano responded, "Maybe here." Sano was then taken to the hospital, as Sato was taken away to a mental facility and his mother was taken to a separate hospital. They urged her to please give them her identity, saying that they could work to find her family if they were still out there. She finally complied. The police were shocked to find that she had been the young girl that went missing almost a decade prior. Sano told the officials, "I was abducted near the school by a man who forced me into a car. For 9 years, I did not take a step out of the house. Today, I went out for the first time." Upon her medical examination after being rescued,
How bad it is, right? Someone has finally found you. Someone has finally noticed you other than the same person that's been visiting you for the last 9 years. You're so brainwashed, you're so disconnected from everything that when asked about your home, yeah, okay. When asked about your home, about where you come from, about what you're doing, who are you, the only response you've got are, "I need to gather my thoughts. Can I stay here? Maybe this is my home." This bastard of a human broke her so much that in her head, this was her home. This is where she is. She was aware that she has family, but she's been brainwashed to the point where this is her home, man. This is where I am. This is where I've been. This is where I am. This is home now. You know? And somehow the mother did not know that she had a missing 9-year-old in her house for 9 years. Crazy.
Sano was found to be relatively healthy given the circumstances, although she was notably very weak and skinny due to the lack of food and exercise. She could barely walk, her leg muscles had atrophied so badly. She was also fairly dehydrated as well. Due to a complete lack of exposure to sunlight, she was extremely pale and suffering from jaundice. While she had the body of an emaciated 19-year-old, she was mentally on par with a child. Understandably, she also had a pretty severe case of PTSD. Soon after, the police were finally able to get in contact with Sano's mother. She was finally reunited with her family after almost 10 years. Her own mother didn't even recognize her at first, given that she hadn't seen her since she was 9 years old. Nobuyuki Sato, now 37 years old, was hospitalized that very day, being deemed mentally unstable. Within a month, his status was formally changed from suspect to criminal, and he was finally arrested on February 11th of 2000. Sato's mother was heavily criticized around the time of his arrest. Given that the Junko Furuta case from 1989 was still at this time fresh on the minds of the populace, people couldn't.
One of the worst cases I've ever seen in my life. Let that be known. This is one of the worst cases I've ever seen in my life. And this took place, like 10 years after the Junko Furuta case. Fairly fresh still. Of course people are going to criticize the mom. 100%. I'd criticize the mom. I would criticize the mom. 9 years in the same house and you didn't suspect anything. You didn't hear anything. Nothing in those 9 years. Like 365 days it is in a year, right? 365 days. You didn't. There was not even a sound that you thought, what was that? Is that another person in my house I don't know of? Why is there like extra food? Why is there even more food being like made? He doesn't look any bigger. He looks roughly the same, maybe even slightly bigger, but still, like, this would suggest that there's more food being used in my house. Even if it's very little to her, still, there's more food being used. Really? Not one inkling? In 9 years? Like, what? Over 3,000 days. Not one day you thought, something's not right here. I'm pretty sure there's someone else in my house. Not one day out of those 3,000 plus days you heard anything. Not one. Sure.
Help but make connections. In both cases, a young girl was held captive on the second floor of a home while the parents lived on the first floor. In the Junko Furuta case, the parents knew very well that a girl was being held upstairs and chose to do nothing.
Which makes it
Could
worse.
that have been the same in this case?
It has to
People
be.
were eager to find the answer to that question.
Has to be.
The mother defended
make sense
herself,
otherwise.
saying, "I didn't know of the captivity, and I haven't set foot on the second floor for years." To be
Your own
fair,
house.
absolutely none of the mother's fingerprints were found on the second floor. Sano herself confirmed that she knew of the mother's existence, but that was about it. The mother was left as merely a witness in the case. After Sano
If
was
the person
rescued,
captive
the
is
police
saying
in
that,
Japan
then it
started
must be true.
facing some heavy
Maybe she's been
criticism,
brainwashed, who knows, but
mainly given that
for the most
Sato
part,
had
maybe it might
already
be true.
attempted to kidnap another
Damn,
young girl in the
really?
same fashion, and
I don't
he
believe
was
that
simply
still, but,
let
you know.
go. And oddly enough, his name had disappeared from their internal list of
What did he-
criminals.
did he just say he got let go?
After Sano was rescued, the police in Japan started facing some heavy criticism, mainly given that Sato had already attempted to kidnap another young girl in the same fashion, and he was simply let go. And oddly enough, his
That's
name
true.
had disappeared from their internal list of criminals, so he was never even considered a suspect in Sano's disappearance in the first place, despite fitting the bill pretty perfectly and being in that very area. When Sano was rescued, the Niigata Prefectural Police Chief, a man named Koji Kobayashi, didn't even show up to the police station to check up on the investigation. Instead, he spent his night playing mahjong with the head of the Regional Police Bureau. After word of this got out, along with a slew of errors made by the police in the coming weeks, Kobayashi formally resigned from his position on February 26th that year. The head of the Regional Police Bureau also ended up resigning a few days later on the 29th.
I'll tell you this, yeah. whatever during these years of Japan, yeah, the reason why these sickos were around here was because, honestly speaking, no disrespect towards Japan. Right now, Japan has changed. It's such a better country. It's one of the more safer countries to go to in the world, and that's a fact. But, brother, during that time period of Japan, right, from what we know, people were just there to put on a uniform and get a check. That's what it was. No one actually did their job. Clearly, it's happened so many times. No one was actually doing their job. They were there to simply like take a paycheck, bro. They were simply there to collect a paycheck and dip. Like this is bad, man. The amount of times stuff has happened in Japan and no one has known about it for how long, or they could have known much earlier, but they just didn't do anything. They did no further investigations. Even when they've got like a suspect or something that happened maybe a couple of weeks ago or months prior, and they didn't bother checking up on this person who's done he pretty much did the exact same thing but just wasn't successful. Like, come on, bro. Like, at that point we are just there to put on the uniform, to collect the paycheck, call it a day, innit? Like, what type of police work is this, innit? Like, this is bad, innit? Like, this is bad, and the public are right to criticize the police, because Jesus Christ, that's twice in the space of 10 years where the police have failed so badly. You have to talk about it. But that's bad, bro. That's so bad. Damn.
The media began publishing pictures of Sano and her family, which was deemed as a human rights violation by the police and heavily criticized. The anonymity of all involved in this case was quickly lost as this case became a media storm. One side would often argue that Sano never tried to escape and that something was fishy. The other side argued that she was convinced that she would be killed if she tried to escape, so naturally she wouldn't try. It's pretty sick that this was an argument in the first place. Sato's trial began a few months later on May 23rd in 2000. The prosecutors walked on eggshells throughout the case, trying not to damage Sano's already fragile mental health throughout the...
Hold on, let me pause this in because hold on. Let's see. All right.
proceedings. Sato claimed place. Sato's trial began a few months later on May 23rd in 2000. The prosecutors walked on eggshells throughout the case, trying not to damage Sano's already fragile mental health throughout the proceedings. Sato claimed insanity, after which...
You know what I never liked about that? I get it, obviously. You want to get all the facts before he decides to just spiral out of control and just now claim the insanity thing. But sometimes, yeah, when the facts are the facts in it, and obviously everything's in front of you, like at this point, sometimes you don't even need it. The evidence was all there the day you got in. You put this guy, you just got wind of this guy in it, and you went to his house and found what you found in it. The evidence is there in it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't need more evidence off you. Like if I was a judge personally, and all the evidence is there, like we've caught you red-handed, like you're fucked in it, like I don't need any more evidence from you, I will honestly unload on this Donnie in it and just say whatever comes to my mind in it. I'll be honest, like I'll be sat there as a judge like, you are a sick bastard in it, like you are, there's something actually wrong with you in it, like you kidnapped a 9-year-old girl from her primary school and kept her captive for 9 years, and then after 9 years, at one point you said to yourself, you know what, I would actually love to live with this girl, I'd love to do this. You've been living with this girl under duress, out of, like she had no free will, you took her from her family, and now you want to be like, oh yeah, I actually like this girl, yeah, I want to actually live with her and all this. Shut the fuck up, man. Sometimes, yeah, again, if I was a judge, I would have got up from that little seat, yeah, on the judge's thing, I would have got up to my man, just gone, what the fuck are you talking about, nigga? Like, what the hell? Like, look at this guy and his bald head, like what are we talking about, innit? Like, what? Bro, this is bad, man. This is bad clips. Like, what is this, bro? Like, this is bad, man. What the hell? Fuck fuck his mental. I don't care. Fuck that. I'm unloading on this Donnie. I might even throw the book at him and say, yeah, look this nigga up for life, innit? Done with this guy, innit? Like, what the hell are we talking about? Like, what? Throw the book at this guy. Throw the book. Throw away the keys. Throw everything. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, sometimes, yeah, I think the world has gone too backwards, innit? We can't keep playing the mental health game. Oh, he's done this. I was under mental health distress. No, stop. And then we have to take it as law. And now they get less years, or they're taken somewhere like an asylum or whatever the fuck it is, a facility. And then they do like a couple of years there. And then once they say, oh, doctor, I'm cured. Doctor, I'm healed. I'm healed. Let me free. And then they let them free. Like what are we talking about, man? Like, this is bad, man. Like, we need to stop, innit? Sometimes, yeah, it's not the case of mental health, you know. I'm being serious. Sometimes not the case of mental health. People do things because they are fundamentally bad. There is no mental health behind it sometimes. Sometimes it literally is just, bro, the guy's just, he's finished. He or she is just finished, bro. That's it. People do bad things because sometimes they just want to do bad things. You know what I'm saying? This guy, like, come on, man. Come on. His life, to begin with, cool, he was getting bullied and your dad is a germaphobe, whatever the fuck it was. But your life is not that bad to the point where you have to kidnap little girls. I'm assuming, if it's been said already, I'm assuming you sexually assaulted this girl, you did whatever to this girl, you know, you abused her, you shocked her, you gave her like really low levels of food and hydration, and not only that, you did the same thing to your mother. What are we talking about? Sometimes people, it's not to do with mental, sometimes not even mental health. Maybe there's a little bit of mental health that plays a part in this, but come on, man. We're not gonna say mental health and then put this guy in a facility and he's out a couple of years later. No, bro. Sometimes, man, you gotta throw the book at these people, throw away the key, and say, yeah, you're in there for life. I can't lie. Goodbye. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. This is bad, bro. This is bad, man. That poor girl. 19 when they found her, and she had the brain capacity of a 9-year-old because obviously her life stopped when she was 9. There's no development, no nothing. This guy's saying, oh yeah, I gave her books to develop as a normal person. No, you didn't, man. No, you didn't. She has such PTSD that her brain is so stuck as a 9-year-old. She can't even develop, bro. I'm telling you, like some, honestly, throw the book at this nigga, bro. Throw the book at this nigga.
Psychiatrists held some tests to determine if that was truly the case. They found that he was at least mentally fit to face his charges, and he himself ended up admitting to them.
If you've got a dry scalp,
fuck the ads, man.
No.
Fuck the fucking
we need a dry
ads.
Scalp revolution, and that is Head and Shoulders Derma Extra.
Oh, I have to watch the first one.
Complex
Fuck's
to
sake,
lock in
man.
moisture,
These
giving you
fucking ads.
fluid-free
Head and Shoulders, man. I don't
moisturised
care.
scalp
Like,
for up to
what?
72 hours. Moisturised
Oh,
like a
I actually
pro.
have to watch this
You will
whole
love
thing.
it.
It's a
This
long ad
one's
as
mine.
well, man.
Get your own.
Okay, I can skip this because this is quick. Oh, no.
Sato
Just a
was
quick
facing
ad.
10 years in prison, the maximum penalty for abduction. Ironically, not really any longer than he had held Sano captive. Prosecutors, along with virtually everyone else, felt that this sentencing was pretty light given the circumstances. To boost the sentence a little bit, they started adding every minor charge they could think of.
That's actually no. I heard what you said and I was taking it in, but only now has my brain processed what has just been said. I tell the girl captivity everything under the book to this girl, and I only got 10 years. I held this girl for almost 10 years, did everything like I said under the sun, as you discovered, and everything else just in general, and I only got 10 years. If I was this nigga, I'd be laughing, bro. Thinking, wow, I honestly, I really got away with this. I can't lie to you. The amount of stuff I did to this girl and I only got 10 years, fair enough. I can't lie in it. If it's 10 years, fine, I'll be out in 10 years' time. Like what? Like, come on, man. Like, what is going on in it? Like Japan's system back then, I don't know what is wrong with Japan back then, but fuck me. Like a lot of the stuff that happened in Japan back then is diabolical. Like, even the Junker Furuta case, the amount of times those people, the amount of like years those people got is absolutely mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. And bear in mind, one of those people who took part in that went down for attempted murder as well. Attempted. And the other guy, what, like, he did something else. He ended up having a wife and kids, I think, and did something else. Or what? I can't remember exactly what it was. But, bro, this is what happens when you let out actual sickos out after a couple of years, because they're in their brains thinking, wow, I really got away with this. I can't lie. Like, what? Bro, look what I did. And I they gave me something so light, I may as well do it again. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, bro, this is bad, man. This is bad. Fuck.
This even included charges for one time that Sato had shoplifted some women's underwear. Really just anything to get that year total up. Sato, now 40, was finally found guilty. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison due
$14 years in prison this guy got. For everything that he did, 14 years. If I'm not mistaken, this trial took place in the year 2000, no? Which means he's out. This fucker is out on the streets as we speak. Bro.
to a combination of charges including abduction, confinement, and theft. His defense soon appealed on January 24th in 2002, and the trial ended up moving up to the Tokyo High Court. Unfortunately, on December 10th, the High Court actually decided to reduce Sato's sentence down to 11 years.
What is up with Japan, innit? What is up with Japan? I'm even laughing, and I'm laughing at how stupid this is. 14 years reduced to 11 years by the High Court, by the way. The High Court of Japan have looked at this. They looked at it like this. I'm just going, all right, yep. Kidnapping a girl, yep. Sexual abuse, okay. Theft, yep. Abuse, yep. Okay. Malnutrition, yep. All right. Dehydration, yep. Okay. Yep. Couldn't walk, PTSD, okay. Abused the mother, yep. Okay. Yeah, reduce the sentence. I can't lie. It's not that deep, innit? Reduce the sentence. Not that deep. Not that deep. The fuck? Reduce the sentence? 11 years? So you're telling me this guy got out by the year 2011 and has been walking the earth after prison for 14 years? God damn. Fuck, man.
They said that the ruling by the district court was technically done wrong. It ruled that his charges should be dealt with individually, not lumped together. So he would serve the maximum 10 years for the abduction charge and 1 additional year for the theft charges. Sato was then sent off to Chiba prison, which is, not surprisingly, in the Chiba prefecture. Sano's father ended up breaking his silence and releasing a statement after the High Court ruling, saying that no matter what they decided upon, there was only anger and regret left for their family. Nothing was going to change that their family was deprived of happiness and a regular home life. There was no way to regain that 9 years, 2 months, and 15 days of my daughter's life during which she could not feel any joy, happiness, pain, or sadness as one normally would, he said. Fortunately, he was able to add that his daughter had gradually come to live a peaceful, relatively normal life, and that she would often spend her days watching soccer matches or taking photos of flowers in the garden with a digital camera. She was also able to get her driver's license and attend her coming-of-age ceremony when she turned 20. Although more than 3 years had passed since she had been saved by that point, she was still receiving counseling from a team of medical doctors appointed by the prefecture between 2 to 4 times a month.
Well, that's nice, isn't it? I can't like that's actually nice. You know what? That's nice. I'm glad that something nice happened to this girl in it. After all of that, right? Because some people would fold and maybe even, you know, off themselves, you know, in GTA, you know, after all this. But she's actually somehow managed to turn it around, going to football games, you know, taking pictures of flowers just on her little digital camera. You know, she actually learned how to drive. She had a coming of age ceremony party for her. You know, she still goes to the council, as it said, but you know, she essentially moved on. It took some work, but she moved on, and is now having a seemingly normal life. Come on, W parents, man. W parents, man, for actually doing their very best to help this girl in it. Obviously, because it's their daughter in it, but they've done that. Look, though, that right there is progression. I like that. Well done, man. I can't well done.
In 2003, during Sato's prison stay, his mother passed away in an old folks' home. The same as his father, likely in shame. In the coming years after she was released, Sano dealt with more hardship as her father drowned in a pond right in front of her eyes as the two went swimming for fun. Naturally, she was devastated, but at least for a time, the two were able to reunite.
I'm not gonna lie, I use Grammarly every time I write. It helps me get the best grades possible while depleting the least.
Damn. 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 Shit, man. That fucking sucks. And she's still alive today. After... Whoa. What the fuck? I pressed the wrong button. As I was saying, what? She's still alive today? That's actually mad, you know. Everything you endured for 9 years, you finally escape. You're free. Just to see your own dad drown in front of you and die from a pond. Nah, bro. Can't lie in it. Like me personally, if I was this girl, I could not have the mental strength to carry on. I can't lie. I'm just being honest in it. I'm being honest. Like, honestly, you have to give your flowers to this girl. Give your fucking flowers to this girl. She survived actual warfare and is still here today. I can't lie in it. You have to no, come on. You have to clap out for this girl. I can't lie. No, I'm serious. I'm not even trying to make a joke in it. Like, I'm being deadly serious. You have to clap out for this girl, bro. Honestly, I wish her nothing but the best in life. I hope she gets everything good in her life. Everything. May her dad rest in peace, though. I can't lie, man. R.I.P. the dad, man. I can't lie, man. Even though you didn't see your daughter for 9 years, and then after that, you spent very little time with her after that, because obviously you ended up dying. But at least you didn't die knowing that you never saw your daughter again. You know what I'm saying? At least it wasn't that, in it. At least you got to spend time with your daughter again, even if it was for a little while. You know what I'm saying? At least you got that in it. But R.I.P. the dad, man. I can't lie. R.I.P. that brother, bro.
Mostly due to the outrage surrounding this case, the punishment for criminal confinement was increased from 10 years to 15 years. In April of 2015, Sato was eventually released from prison. He chose not to go back to Niigata and instead chose to remain in Chiba, where his prison was. He lived alone in a small apartment and mainly lived off of welfare for the disabled. 2 years later, in 2017, it was noticed that Sato failed to show up to work one day. Police went out to his place and he was found dead, all alone in his tiny apartment in Chiba City. He was in his mid-50s at the time. An autopsy was performed, but the cause of his death wasn't found. Fusako Sano attempted to return to a normal life.
Fuck her, fuck her, sorry, fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck him. I'm glad he's dead. I can't lie. I say that with no remorse. I'm glad he's dead. Like, fuck him, innit? Fuck him. He deserves so much worse. May he burn in hell for what he did to that girl. He burn in hell for that. And may he burn for giving his mum grief. Yes, I'm still fishing about the mum. But no mum deserves to be abused by their own kid. You know what I'm saying? That is fucked. And fuck you for also giving the parents of that girl that you kidnapped such hardship for 9 years, thinking that what they must have felt as like failures of parents, thinking that their daughter's gone and there's nothing they can do. Bro, fuck you, may you burn in hell. I can't lie.
Her physical health improved greatly, and she was finally able to move around normally. She helps out in her family's rice paddy out in the countryside.
That's good.
Due to her
actually
stunted social development, she has a hard time socializing. She doesn't have many friends and often spends her time alone. But she keeps busy with her photography hobby and her love of soccer and attends games pretty often. Her family continues to refuse to comment on the ordeal.
Good, man. There's nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's nothing to talk about, innit? It happened. It was a terrible thing, but we don't need to talk. You don't need to talk to her about it and recapture the memories. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to move on, innit? She's trying to move on, and she has. Bro, she's working at her family's rice fields at times. She's out there. She's going to football games. She's taking pictures on a digital camera. You know, she doesn't have many friends. That's not her fault. With the tragedy of what happened in her life, that's not her fault. I honestly hope she finds someone, whether it's a man or a woman that she just loves, has a family and they take care of her, you know what I'm saying? And they treat her the way she should be treated, like a fucking queen, you know what I'm saying? I hope that is the case. I hope that's the case. You know? Whenever she gets over the social anxiety, and I hope it's soon, I hope, honestly, she gets over it soon and gets out there like she should and just fucking bosses life like she's been doing ever since she became free. I honestly, I wish the best for this girl. Honestly, God, just give nothing but grace to this woman. Give nothing but grace. That's all she deserves. I can't lie, man. Can't lie in it. But fuck that Donnie in it. Fuck that Donnie.
To refuse to comment on the ordeal. Once again, thank you for watching my video. This is definitely one of the darker ones, you know, I mean, being related to the Junko Furuta case. Yeah, that's gonna happen. If you found it interesting, please leave a like. It helps it to get seen by other people, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If you want to...
Alright, well... Yeah, man. There's a, it was a dark one. I can't lie. Oh, that was dark. That was dark.